Hello and welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. I'm Grady, and as always, this video is brought to you by the Deck of Many and Humblewood.net. Today we have a preview of 6 minis from the upcoming Wave 11 of the Unpainted Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures line for Dungeons & Dragons. For a full list of everything in Wave 11, check the link in the video description below for the press release at phdgames.com. We'd like to thank WizKids for sending us these preview figures, and you can click the eye in the corner of the screen to see our unboxing video and find out what other sneak peeks we got. For now, this set is a mix of brand new sculpts and unpainted versions of figures that previously appeared in the pre-painted line for D&D, Icons of the Realms. And as always, if you want to skip ahead, check our video description below for timestamps to all the minis we show. Let's get to it! First, let's look at the brand new sculpts, starting with the Young Red Dragon. Everyone likes dragons, right? Dragons have 4 life stages: Wormling, Young, Adult, and Ancient. The ones we have today are the second, or Young, life stage of Gold, Silver, and Red dragons. This is the culmination of a new set of Young Dragon sculpts for all 10 dragon types that began with Copper, Green, Blue, and Black dragons in Wave 8, and White, Brass, and Bronze dragons in Wave 9. Of course, there will be more dragon types coming later this year when Wizards of the Coast releases the Gem Dragons, but for now, we just have 5 chromatic and 5 metallic dragon types. Now, the packaging for the Nolzur's figures is usually pretty good at preventing damage or warping, but you may notice this red dragon's wings are a bit close together. You may need to use hot water to bend the wings out a bit to paint the figure properly and take advantage of its nice wingspan. I was really excited for these because if you've watched our full set reviews for Icons of the Realms, you'll know that for the most part, the dragon sizes of the minis in those sets don't really correlate with the life stage they were supposed to represent. They tended to be a size too small, as the adult dragons are supposed to be huge sized, but were released as large. This new set of Nolzur's figures course corrects a bit too far in the other direction. You may notice the back of the box has a disclaimer saying the base sizes are for stability of the figure and not representative of game scale. Young dragons are supposed to be large sized, and these come with huge bases, one step up, and they are scaled at about huge size as well, making them more suited as adult dragons. The obvious solution is to ignore the text and use the Icons dragons as the young dragons and the Nolzur's as the adults. Here's an example of the Nolzur's Young Gold Dragon next to a large-sized gold dragon from Tyranny of Dragons. The painted gold dragon is noticeably smaller than the unpainted Young Gold Dragon. 2 other notable features of these Nolzur's dragons. First, some of the sculpts are the first grounded dragons we've gotten for 5th edition. While older lines for D&D and the Pathfinder Battles lines have featured many dragons standing on their bases or rocks, most of the dragons we've gotten in the Icons of the Realms line have been flying and on pegs. The gold dragon here is standing on the ground. Meanwhile, the ones that fly are on the new pegs that WizKids has been using for over a year now. While these new pegs have been fantastic in the Icons and Pathfinder Battles lines, mainly because the figure comes pre-glued to the peg, the Nolzur's dragons do not come pre-glued. Whether the dragon stays on the peg without needing to be glued is hit or miss still. The red dragon barely stays on while the silver dragon slots in fine. How well it fits is mainly based on the pose. So while these pegs are great if you plan to glue your mini to the peg, they are not much improved over the old pegs if you want to keep the dragon separate for ease of storage. Now, if you're not picky about details, the nice thing about unpainted dragons is that you can actually paint them any color you want, so you're not limited to them being the color or metal they're listed as. However, each dragon does have distinguishing physical characteristics that identify them even without color, so you do want to pay attention to the details if you're wanting to be lore accurate. As examples, if you own the Tyranny of Dragons 5-year anniversary edition of Rise of Tiamat, or if you've bought Rise of Tiamat on D&D Beyond, you can find in Appendix E Concept Gallery art and descriptions of the key identifying features of all 5 chromatic dragon types. I haven't found nearly as good illustrations for metallic dragons, but the monster manual does describe the distinguishing features of all 10 dragon types. The key places to look are mainly the wing shape and the facial features. The gold dragon has a very distinctive silhouette, with its wings running down the length of its tail and tendrils or whiskers coming out of its face. Silver dragons have a mohawk-like frill atop their head that runs down to their tail, and chin spikes that resemble a neatly trimmed beard. Red dragons have long horns that make him look like Maleficent, as well as a beak-like snout and the widest chromatic dragon wingspan. Now onto the figures that are unpainted versions of figures from previous Icons of the Realm sets. Here is the Balor. This originally appeared in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage set, which released March 2019. You can click the eye in the corner of the screen to see all the figures in that set. The Balor was a rare, huge-sized figure, meaning it's in decent demand and relatively expensive on the aftermarket. The great things about the Nolzur's figures is that they are usually much more reasonably priced compared to pre-painted singles, and the Balors are incredibly powerful, challenge rating 19 demons from the basic rules. They primarily feature in the Charity Adventure module Infernal Machine Rebuild for levels 5 to 10, which can be slotted into any campaign, but is a thematic fit for Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. Next is a Beholder Zombie, which is another figure from the March 2019 Dungeon of the Mad Mage set. Since it's technically not a proper Beholder, it may be easier to get a hold of than other Beholder figures, painted or unpainted, which tend to be in very high demand. The main difference between the Beholder Zombie and the regular Beholder from the Nolzur's line is that the Beholder Zombie is a little bit smaller. It's also intended to be painted such that the eyes are white and glazed over with no pupils, while the Beholder would actually have regular eyes. But with the proper paint job, this is a great alternative option for a Beholder if you just painted it like one, and the smaller size is not a huge deal either, as there is a lot of variation in size among Beholder minis. This figure has 10 eye stalks, just like the standard Beholder mini, and comes with 4 eye stalks shooting transparent spell effects out of the eyes that you can swap in when the Beholder Zombie is attacking. Beholder Zombies are challenge rating 5 creatures from the monster manual, and they are weaker with fewer eye rays than regular Beholders. They appear in Dragon Heist and Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Finally, we have a Behir, which is also from the March 2019 Dungeon of the Mad Mage set. Behirs are huge-sized creatures, occupying a 3x3 space on a battle map. They're kind of like boa constrictors if boa constrictors had legs and could shoot lightning out of their mouths. Naturally, such a terrifying creature has a challenge rating of 11. It can be found in the basic rules. They show up in Dungeon of the Mad Mage, Tales from the Yawning Portal, and Out of the Abyss. Overall, this is an exciting wave. Dungeon of the Mad Mage is a great set to be pulling minis from. It had sculpts of many classic monsters, including huge-sized creatures, and there's also a lot of new sculpts coming in Wave 11 that we haven't previewed, which I really hope show up pre-painted in icons soon. There's a Furbolg mini, which are pretty rare still. Theo loves were-creatures, so the were-rat and were-tiger pack is exciting. There's an Ultraloth, as well as a pack containing a Lich and a Mummy Lord. We're also getting the green and blue Slotty, which should yield a lot of mayhem in your games. This set is coming sometime in March 2020 with no exact date set yet. If you want to stay on top of it, we've included a link in the video description below to WizKids' catalog of upcoming releases. All the figures we've previewed today have a suggested price of $14.99 US, except the Beholder Zombie, which will be priced at $4.99 US. I want to thank WizKids again for sending us this early review set. I also want to thank our sponsor for this video, the Deck of Many. I have not been poring over our copy of Humblewood because Theo is the DM and very protective of spoilers. So all I'm going to point out is that crows have not been getting nearly enough love from us out of the 5 new birdfolk races included in this setting. Look at this animation of a corvum from Humblewood. Have you seen it before? I don't think so. I don't remember editing it into any of our other videos. It's been like 6 months, and the corvum gets no love. It's because you assume they're all necromancers, isn't it? Just because it's a murder of crows. But crows are smart and wholesome and capable of chasing down and killing lambs. What? Oh, that explains why lambs are not a playable race in Humblewood. Learn more and pick up your copy today at humblewood.net. Thanks for watching. As always, we appreciate you taking the time to watch to the end, clicking the little like button, leaving us comments down below. Those all help the channel reach more people. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when we release new videos. You never know when another preview might come down the pike. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.